Riddle of the Simultaneous game session. The chess club Two Queens on this day resembled an anthill, in which only chess fans gathered. Everyone was discussing the upcoming event, a unique session of simultaneous blindfold chess on 40 boards. Everyone was also attracted by the unusual conditions put forward by Lucas. If he did not lose a single game, the entire proceeds from ticket sales, minus taxes of course, would go to him. Otherwise, the money was returned to the audience. In such grandiose seances, and even blindly, there were never without the master's defeats. So the audience, including Sergeant Pound and Inspector Goodwin, hoped that this pleasure would cost them free. Imagine, on 40 boards. One of the spectators whispered excitedly at the table. "If he wins all the games, then the whole money collection is for him," answered the other. "Well, that's unlikely," interjected a third spectator, adjusting his glasses. "You won't have time to blink an eye, as someone will beat the Grandmaster." Grandmaster Lucas confidently entered the stage, an elegant, handsome man who seemed to have stepped out of an advertising poster of expensive suits. He was followed by a small assistant who looked like a modest librarian. Grandmaster Lucas swept through the hall, and the whisper turned into a storm of applause. "Yes, he is really gorgeous," sighed the lady from the front row. "I hope he's just as gorgeous in chess," her companion muttered discontentedly. Quickly shaking hands with the referee and the director of the club, Lucas briefly greeted the audience and players and sat down in a specially prepared chair at the very edge of the stage with his back to the players. The referee gave the bell and the game began. The assistant rushed between the tables like a courier at rush hour. As soon as one of the players made another move and raised his hand, the assistant grandmaster immediately ran up to him and, having written this move on a piece of paper, just as quickly took it to the grandmaster. As soon as he glanced at the paper, Lucas was lost in heavy thought for a few moments, and then hurriedly wrote a response on another paper. The resigned assistant at the same moment took it to the player and moved on to the next table. Then this procedure was repeated again. An hour later, the game was over. All 40 games are in favor of Grandmaster Lucas. "That's incredible," Sergeant Pound admired, clapping his hands. "What a level!" "And suspiciously tall," said Inspector Goodwin quietly. "A what? Do you think he was cheating?" Pound was surprised. "It's a brilliant game. In addition, you have probably seen Lucas's Grandmaster diploma in the lobby of the club. Or do you doubt him too?" "Both the diploma and the game are impressive," Goodwin nodded. "But he couldn't play like that." "Why?" Pound's eyes widened. "Please explain." Goodwin smiled mysteriously. "Because Grandmaster Lucas, in my opinion, is still a crook." Why did Inspector Goodwin draw this conclusion? The answer to the riddle: his game speaks for itself. Pound blushed with indignation, like beets. "And you yourself saw the diploma with seals in the foyer. Or do you now doubt the press as well?" Goodwin narrowed his eyes and smiled slyly. "No, the diploma is real and the game is really at the level. But Grandmaster Lucas, in my opinion, is still a crook." "But why?" Pound continued to seethe. "He didn't make a single mistake, and brilliantly won all the games. Blindfold." "That's not quite true, Sergeant. In fact, he made one mistake, and a very big one." Lucas sat with his back to the players and could not see who exactly made the next move. Therefore, a real Grandmaster is most likely the very assistant. Seeing the position on the board, he easily made retaliatory moves, as in an ordinary session of simultaneous play, available to many high-class chess players. He, of course, is great, but such a game is paid in a completely different way. Fraud is obvious, and it must be punished. Slyly, Pound gasped. "That is, this whole blind game is fiction? Namely, and the Grandmaster Lucas here is more likely to be an actor than a chess player. And you know what?" Goodwin grinned. "They, of course, are talented, but we will have to cover up such a scam." "So, detain the crooks?" Pound was already reaching for the handcuffs. "Definitely." Goodwin nodded. "Give me your prescription forms." Let's apply for both at once, the Grandmaster and his assistant. Let them figure out later which of them is a chess master here, and who is an artist of the drama club. Or maybe both of them? Pound chuckled. Maybe, the inspector grinned. I am glad that now the spectators of the chess club will not have to pay for this performance of swindlers from their wallets.